So I'm looking at a NetSuite sales order here, sales order S0297. You can see the status of the order is pending fulfillment, which means it's waiting to be shipped. Here you can notice the customer is Dessert Corner, and we are shipping from our warehouse, San Francisco. For a total of $13. Now, as I scroll down to the bottom, you can see there are a couple of different SKUs on this particular sales order. We've got some root beer and some ring pops as well, both sending from San Francisco. Now, you can see I've got on-hand inventory, available inventory. You can see I'm ordering one of each for this. This particular customer is ordering one of each for a rate of $4 and $9 here as well. You can also see here that we've got a series of ancillary attributes that show what's been committed, picked, packed, and fulfilled. So it'll track the order itself, will track all of the detail around any subsequent fulfillment processes as well as invoicing. So you can see I've actually allocated or committed one of these items, one of these quantities for each SKU to this particular order. I've got my other standard kind of stuff over here. Who am I shipping to? Any kind of terms, carrier, things along those lines as well on the sales order. So I also have the ability to send a sales order acknowledgement to the customer if I also wanted to send things like a pro forma invoice or any kind of documentation around that. I have the ability to go ahead and save and email. What that'll do is actually create a PDF copy of this particular sales order, can mock it up as a pro forma invoice or a sales order acknowledgement or whatever it may be, and NetSuite will automatically go ahead and send out that email to the customer, as well as providing an audit trail here of the fact that the email already went out. And you can see this one I created earlier today shows the actual email going out, who sent it, date, time. A lot of businesses out there require that their customers pay some kind of customer deposit or prepayment on a sales order. We have the ability to do that within NetSuite. On the sales order itself, I can go ahead and click on Create Deposit. And I've got all kinds of information that I can fill out here in terms of the payment method, if it's credit card or check or ACH or whatever. But you can also prepay a specific amount. So if it was a 50% or a flat dollar amount, you have the ability to enter the payment amount here. And in this particular case, I'll enter a prepayment of 50% of the order. And there's my customer deposit transaction. I can go ahead and drill back into my sales order now. And I can see that on my related records here, I've actually got the customer deposit transaction. So everything's nicely captured within a single transaction set and all of the different related records here. And as we go through this process, you'll see an item fulfillment as well as an AR invoice as well. Now, moving on to shipping and fulfilling, you can see here that I'll use my reminders to actually show me the actionable items that I need to take as an inventory manager here. You can see here that I've got 20 orders to fulfill. So I can drill down into that transaction set, and I can go ahead and have a look at all of the sales orders that are pending fulfillment. There are a number of different ways to fulfill orders out of NetSuite, including printing pick lists, WMS, and a variety of other ways. This is just one that I'm showing you on this demonstration right now. And you can see that these are all the sales orders, and I have the one that I just created, SO2097. So I can go ahead and drill down into that transaction set if I wished. Alternatively, I can just click the box here to fulfill the transaction. And I can also change the status of the shipment itself. So depending on my internal warehouse movements, I may want to change the status when it's picked, packed, or shipped. Alternatively, if I just choose shipped here, that will create the fulfillment transaction as well as decrement all of my on-hand inventory for the SKUs within that particular application. In this particular case, I'll choose San Francisco as the warehouse and go ahead and click fulfill. Okay, now I'm back on my sales order, and you'll notice immediately that the status of the sales order is now pending billing. So it's gone from pending fulfillment to pending billing. And then the reason for that status change is the fact that we've created the fulfillment transaction and we've actually shipped everything. So if I scroll down now and have a look at some of the additional attributes here, I've no longer got anything committed because I've shipped the inventory. Everything's been picked, packed, and fulfilled. It's yet to be invoiced, which will be the next step here, and the quantity remains at 1. And then if I click on my related records here, you'll notice in addition to the customer deposit, I've also got the item fulfillment transaction, which will allow me to quickly drill down into any of the shipping related. So now we've shipped our order, let's talk about the invoice process. Now within our NetSuite dashboard, I'm currently logged in as a controller. And again, I'll use my reminders, those automations, to go ahead and have the system tell me which orders I need to invoice. And you'll see here, I've got 23 sales orders that I need to invoice. So I'll go ahead and drill down into those 23. All right. Now it'll show me a list of all of the sales orders in the application where we have the status of that sales order pending billing. Anything in a pending fulfillment status will not show up here. So I can go ahead and look at this information here, and here's my order right down the bottom. I can go ahead and click that. I could also mark all and unmark all and hit submit. So the idea here is that at the end of the day or the following day, you can just run through an entire list. Yep, these are the orders that need to be invoiced. Hit a couple of buttons and automatically generate those invoices. Now, if we have an email address on the customer record, these invoices will get emailed directly to the customer. So I'll go ahead and hit submit. And we're back on the sales order, and you can see that the status of the sales order is now billed. And again, if we go have a look at the data down the bottom, everything's picked, packed, fulfilled, and now invoiced as well. I can also go to the related records, and now I have an invoice, a customer deposit, and a fulfillment transaction. If I click on the invoice, you'll notice that the total of the invoice is $13, but the amount due is $6.50. Remember, we've created a customer deposit against this particular sales order. So it's taken that deposit and netted or applied that amount to the invoice, leaving a total amount due of $6.50, which will also be reflected on the invoice PDF that's sent to the customer, and this is what needs to be remitted to us to apply to this particular invoice.